Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Janice's Crazy Town. Here live. It's Wednesday night. It's my 10th live. I'm going live forever. I'm just counting them because I don't want to stop at 30. I have a feeling that I'm just going to keep doing this for a while. So I'm keeping track by counting. So today is the second day that we're working on the boho chair. I don't know how the lighting is. I feel like it's not great. Um, but I'll be taking it off of me soon anyway and putting it on the chair. So the boho chair. I didn't like the way it came out the other night. We started it Monday night. Last night I was on the DIY paint page live. So I did something else. So tonight's the second day on the boho chair. And let me lift it up so you can see it. Okay, so here it is. Oop, I'm stuck under it. So here it is. And I don't mind what we did or what I did. I don't want to blame you guys for this fiasco on the top. We did some blending. We added all of these colors, and then we did some blending. So this one, the top part, I liked a little bit better because we blended, it was a little bit more muted. But we didn't blend the seat. So I was not happy with the way the seat looked. So I was experimenting today, and this is what I ended up with on the seat. So I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that. I think I am in the light. I think that's the problem. So I don't know if you remember it the way we had it when we left the other day, but it was very stripy. So I had all of these colors I added in layers, and it was very stripy, and it was bothering me. So what I did today is I sanded the whole chair, so it's nice and smooth. I even sanded this part. So I sanded the seat, and then what I did was I put a wash over. I was going to blend it, but the paint was really dry. So I put I put Blue Iris and Old 57 in different spots on here and wet it down. And I, in essence, did a whitewash, but with the blue paint and the Old 57. And what happened was when I wiped off the Blue Iris and the Old 57, it exposed, it took off a lot of the paint that I had put on the other day, and it's exposing the real color of the chair. It's exposing the yellow the first layer that I had put on the chair. So basically what I'm saying is, I love the chair like this. This is, for me, a great boho paint job. It looks like the paint has been on it for years and it's been exposed to the elements and all of that. Totally all accident. I had no idea what I was doing, but happy that it turned out the way it did. So now what we need to do is decide. Now it doesn't match. So I'm going to do the same process that I did on the seat. I'm going to do up here. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And you can see how I did that. So I'm going to turn the chair around, see if I can get a good angle for you guys to see the chair. Whoop. I'm going to lower the camera. And say hello if you're here. So I know you're here so I can talk to you guys. I'm going to lower this. I won't be able to see you very much because I want you to see what's going on with the chair. So, so that's this way you'll get a good look at the chair. Let me know. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? So the first thing I did was I sanded it. So I had already sanded it today. I took my blue iris that is still really chunky. Hi, Chris. How are you, hon? My blue iris is really chunky. So I basically just, well, this is different because it's all spindles. So I'm just going to pretend, I'm just going to work like I worked the seat. So get it wet. Maybe actually, actually, you know what? I don't want to wet it yet. I'm going to wet it later. I don't want it. I'm going to wipe that spray off that I just did. Okay. So I'm going to take the chunky blue iris and I'm just going to put it, I'm just going to spread it on different spots of this top upper portion of the chair. Actually was a little bit neater when I did the seat, but this seat was just one space. So this is like a lot of different little sections. So it might come out a little different. So there's the blue iris. Okay, that should be enough. And then the same. Now I only have a teeny weeny bit of old 57 left, but because I poured it in my FIFO bottle, so this is just some leftover paint. I'm going to put some old 57 on here now. To blend with the blue iris. Okay. I think that's enough. So what I did from there is I took my blending brush and I just started to blend. So I'm going to take my sweater off because it's gotten warm in here. So I'm just going to go through the blending motions that I would do if I were blending at this point. Like, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I just knew that I did not like the way the chair came out. So I was just wasn't really sure what I was doing, but I knew I had to do something. So I'm going to keep it wet because it dries really, it's been drying on me really quickly. So I ended up covering the whole piece with these two blended colors. Now I'm only doing the front right now. I'll have to work on the back another day. I don't know. What did you guys think of the chair when we left it Monday? Randy said he liked it. I was surprised because I really didn't think he would like something like that. I didn't like it. And one thing I know about myself is what I like and what I don't like. And I guess everybody does. Like I say, I keep working on it until it makes me happy. And I was really happy the way this seat came out. So let's let's see if I can get the same look on these spindles. So it's basically a wash. I'm basically putting a wash over what I did to kind of mute the shades because they were too distinctive. That is way too distinctive for me. I'm going to go around the other side. Some of this red, the carnival red that we put on, looks so good. It remained a really prominent color in the seat, and I'm really, really happy with it. But I think I covered up way too much of the yellow that I had painted on. So that was a lesson learned. And so I'm glad that this wash is going to wash off some of that paint and expose the real wood tone and my first coat of the yellow. Now I'm doing this is not a typical way to do a wash. A lot of times you put the water, you mix the paint with water and you do it that way. This is just me keeping the water really wet. I mean the paint really wet. Because I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. It ended up being a wash. I wasn't sure that was what I was going to do to fix it. And you just keep working until, like I said, until you like it. Okay, so we've covered this top part of the chair with a wash. Now I'm just gonna drag my brush Wipe it off. This actually was a long process because I didn't know how much I was gonna keep on, and I ended up taking off like all of it. Sylvia Reed. Hello, Sylvia. You love the blue. That's blue iris. And we're giving this chair kind of like a wash with blue iris to expose the colors underneath. I get this side doesn't have any paint on it, so I don't have to really worry about that. This almost looks like a peacock to me. These colors with the wash on it look really pretty. But they're coming off. See, now you can see the yellow is starting to come to be exposed. I mean, I probably could get my cloth and wipe it off now, but I just kind of like just wiping it off with the brush first for a little while, keeping it wet. Giving those colors a chance to mingle underneath there. All right, I'm just going to go over it one more time, and then I'm going to get my baby wipes and wipe it off and see if we can get it to look like what I did to the seat. Not, we're going to have to improvise again. Okay. Now that's what it looks like now. It actually looks kind of cool. So let me lift it up so you can see it. Oop. Okay, let's see. Turn it around. Okay. All right. So let's see if you can see that. So can you see the yellows and the greens and the blues and a little bit of the red coming through? So it actually looks kind of cool like that. And it looks kind of cool with the seat like that. But, and that's where I was at. I saw it like that on here and I thought, well, that looks kind of cool, but I just kept going. So the first thing I did, so after with the brush, I took some paper towels and I just started to wipe off some of the paint. So I'm going to put that up here so you can see. Whoop, how it comes out. All right. Well, it's kind of hard. It's very high. So I'm just wiping it off. Very lightly with the paper towel. It's going to take a lot of paper towels. So you can see how the yellow that I covered up is coming back. And I'm really glad about that because I missed that yellow. And the red is staying on there. This looks like it was a piece of tape. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But that's what the wood looks like. And that's what the yellow looks like. It uses a lot of paper towels. And then I go to the baby wipes. I wanted to do this slowly because I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. So I'm doing everything exactly the same way as I did the seat. So part of this always is the process, is enjoying what it is I'm doing, enjoying the process. It's relaxing. So the reason why I want to do it slowly too is because I want to know when I should stop. Like how much paint do I want to take off? So if I do it really fast and I rub it all off, I might take off too much, and I don't want to do that. I want to figure out what is the correct amount of paint to take off. And I just keep turning the paper towels. I use a clean spot. I want the red really exposed because the red is so vibrant. It looks really good. And I can always add more red to it. Each spindle is going to look completely different, but at least hopefully it will have a cohesive look with the seat. This one had the mint chip on it. I think we put mint. Did we put mint chip on this? I can't remember now. It looks like mint chip. So it's just much softer look than it was last night. You can see how the blue is getting right into the grain of the wood. Okay, so now I'm going to take the baby wipes and you like how it's going, Kathy? Thank you. I do too. I like this more subtle look than the harsh. Even though I blended last night, there was still some harsh lines that it was too much. Even for a boho look, it was too much. Now that looks cool. I don't know if you can see that. I've got these blinding lights right in my eyes, so but that looks neat. But you know, that took one whole baby wipe practically. So you want to use the clean. You want to use the clean. And again, take your time. Step back, look at it. Make sure it's something that appeals to you, and stop, because you don't want to take off too much paint because then you have to start all over again. So let's work on this one. That looks cool. I like these little, oh, can't see that. Let me go down a little lower. I like little things like that happen. So I think that looks kind of good. It's definitely less paint, I think, than I have on the seat. I think that might be okay. We'll know more when it dries. Now, if you notice, while it's wet, it's very shiny, and I like that. So the seat is not as shiny anymore because it's dry, and I like it shiny. So that made me decide that I'm going to seal this with Big Top. So that, yeah. So I think that's done. I could always go back and wipe some off. So I'm going to let the spindles dry. And like I said, if I want, when they dry, I could always go back and put some more on. So I'm going to do the same. Can you see? Because this light is blinding me. Like really bad blinding me. I can't see what you guys see. All right, so here, yep, okay. So now that red right there makes me happy. So that I want to be very gentle around, make sure I don't lose that. And I'm just kind of looking at each one as it's, I mean, I want it to be cohesive, but also each one is like its own canvas. It's like its own piece of art. We've got some more red down here. We've got some really big chunks. Remember the blue iris was very chunky. So you can see that there's texture. And that's why when your paint gets hard at the bottom of the bottle, bottom of the can, that's a really good time to use it to add some texture. Yeah, I got some really nice clumps of blue iris on this chair, which is really neat. It's kind of like wet distressing. Kind of like wet distressing. Chris, use your camera to take pictures in between steps. It shows you more clearly places that you feel need tweaking. I do it often when I paint. I used to do that, when I did canvas art of faces and stuff. So I would have like the progression of the face. And yeah, I didn't think I did take pictures of the seat. But I'm really liking the way this is going. Kathy, how many layers of different colors did you put on? Well, the first layer I put on was Queen Bee. I covered the whole chair in Queen Bee. I let that dry. And then I put on like not a whole coat, but like stripes of different colors. You see the live, you can watch the live that we did. It's on, you can watch the replay. It's on my page. And then I blended in the colors on this. No, I blended in the colors up here, but I didn't have time to blend in the colors on the seat. And then when I looked at it, I didn't like it anymore. So that's why I opted to do like this. It's kind of like wet distressing. It's like putting the paint on and then taking it off to expose the layers underneath. No, I'm going to leave that, come back to that. Come back to that when it's dry so I can see. There's a little dark right here and this. So I'm going to come back to that before I make a mistake. And I'm going to do this guy right here. I'm going to, okay. So what do you think about this chair so far? It is pretty funky, but I love it. I love it so much more than, when Donna brought me these chairs, I loved them immediately. They're great chairs. Wonderful quality. And they're just so majestic. They're really tall. And I knew I wanted to do a boho look on them, but this is my first boho look, so. The paint really gets in, that wash that I put on really gets into the grain of the wood. So there's some really cool things going on here that I will take some up close pictures and post them so you can see. And I'll bring my camera closer. All right, I'm going to stand back for a moment and see what that looks like. Oh, I still have to do, yeah, it's still pretty wet. So I'm going to do up here. You can see where the chunky paint is. Nice thick texture. And take a dry paper towel and just kind of that a little bit. Yep. And then up here, go on the other side. I don't know what I'm going to do about that right there. I'll figure something out though. Okay, this one's had it. All right. Let me bring this a little closer to me. Okay.